Hello, everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk News. You've landed on my channel either intentionally or by accident. I don't care which. Hang out with us for a little while and drop your comments about what we're going to discuss today in the comments section, and I will read them online and we will have a real discussion. Today, the discussion, the show is called There's a New Sheriff in Town. And that's because I've got a lot of stories involving police. So I thought that would be a catchy title. Kevin, sorry I will miss it. Expecting important call. Okay, well, Kevin, we will miss you, but you can always catch us on reruns. And I hope that call goes well for you. Hi, Debbie. How are you? Good to have you here. Hi, Francine. Good to have you too. It's very interesting. I got attacked by some woke lunatics, and they must have reported something or another to YouTube because they have now severely slowed down my viewership of the show. Interestingly, though, they can't slow down my subscribers. We're getting more subscribers than ever before. I think that's because of the shorts that I do, but they've made some complaints about us having conservative voices on YouTube and on Facebook. So we have dropped dramatically in viewership during the live segments, and I'm sorry for that because you all are the stars. You all are the ones that drive these comments and drive the conversation. So really breaks my heart that more people don't join in or can't because they can't see us. Thank you so much, Karen. I appreciate it. Please share, tell your friends. Let's see if we can't break the damn woke algorithm that keeps holding us back. We had to change the show 4 different times because they kept canceling us, especially when we first started during COVID. So I don't know if they're doing it again because of midterms. I'm just not sure. Hello, Angela Recca. Good to have you. Hello, Kevin Young. Good to have you. Susan Durama. Good to have you. Wow, everybody's here. Who owns YouTube? Good question. Don't know. Not sure. But it seems to happen every time we have an election. Lots of things seem to happen every time we have an election, and we're gonna do some comparison there too. So, which cop news do we want to talk about? Do we want to talk about the Chinese national who had a biolab, second biolab found in California? Google owns YouTube, yes, but who owns Google? But I know Google is it's a corporation. It's traded openly, so the shareholders, I guess, do. All right, let's start with that. I'm sure you've all seen it. In case you haven't, I will share with you this little press conference that happened today about a biolab that is taking place, second one that they've uncovered. Here we go. Let's see. Hold on. Let's do it.
Good afternoon. I'm Sheriff Kevin McMahill with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. With me today is the Special Agent in charge of the Las Vegas FBI Field Office, Christopher Delzato, and the Clark County Fire Chief, Billy Samuels. You'll hear from all 3 of us. I want to provide a more detailed update and walk you through how this investigation unfolded. Just a little over a week ago, LVMPD received limited information indicating that laboratory equipment and potentially hazardous materials were being stored at a residence in the northeast part of our town. As our investigation progressed, we determined that the home was owned by the same individual connected to a prior illegal biolab investigation in Reedley, California that occurred in 2023. The nature of that earlier investigation raised significant concern for what we might encounter in this new case. In Reedley, investigators reportedly discovered an illegal biolab containing materials possibly associated with a range of infectious diseases, including hepatitis, COVID, HIV, malaria, and other potentially dangerous pathogens. While it is unknown whether similar materials were present here at the Las Vegas residence, the possibility required us to proceed with extreme caution. Because of these concerns, LVMPD's counterterrorism section and our armor task force, in partnership with the FBI, immediately initiated a joint investigation and began developing detailed operational plans to address this potential threat. Out of an abundance of caution, extensive preparations were made. Resources were mobilized from across Clark County, the city of Las Vegas, as well as our other state and federal partners, to include some from outside of our region, to ensure that this operation could be conducted safely. The main suspect in this case, who you're going to see a photograph on the screen next to me here in just a second, is the owner of the house on Sugar Springs Drive. He's already in federal custody on charges related to the investigation of the biolab in Reedley, California in 2023.
Hey everybody, Walton Goggins.
Okay, hang on a second. So that's basically, you got the gist of it. So so Ari Solomon, who looks Chinese but has a Jewish name, is the one who owned both the houses where both biolabs were. And apparently there was a Chinese national who was renting this house in Las Vegas. So yeah. This is we're doing a great job, right? We're doing a great job at the border. Joe Biden, fantastic stuff. Alphabet Inc. owns Google. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you. Hi, Lucille. How are you? So we wondered how we got COVID. We wondered, how we are getting things. We are wondering whether or not the border is still a problem for us. And the answer is yes. I heard about these biolabs today. A regular person founded Chinese spies. This is scary. So the story is, and unfortunately, I just couldn't get it all clipped. So this Solomon guy hires a cleaning service to come in to clean the garage. And so they go in, and it was two people. It was like merry maids, and they go in, and it's two people, and they were cleaning, and they see all this refrigerated stuff, all these tubes and everything else in a regular house. It's a pretty nice house. If we didn't get a commercial in there, I would have shown it to you. But at any rate, so they clean it all up. They get paid. They go home, and then they become severely ill. And they realize something's wrong, and they notify the police. And the police then take it from there. And as you saw, they contacted the FBI. And because there was another biolab in California in 2023, they were able to hook them together and figured it all out. And so everybody's in custody right now, but I know we're not at the end of the trail. So very interesting. Pathogens in there. Yeah. Hi, Andrew. How are you? Hi, Maisie. How are you? He's a Jewish man. No, he's an Asian man with a Jewish name, but maybe he's a Jewish Asian. I don't know. Maybe he was, he's 55 years old. So I'm 63. I think that if you recall, in the 70s, there were a lot of Chinese babies being adopted. He could be one of those. Who knows? I don't know. But it's the same guy, and he's been here. He's not like a illegal. He's not an illegal migrant, but the Chinese guy who was renting the house is. So yeah, something's not right. Yeah, it's scary. Very, very scary. Debbie Lebedo, putting harmful substances in the mail, food, and other products can happen and still can. Yes. Oh, speaking of the mail, I got to tell you guys something. If you see something, say something. Well, they did, and they were really, really sick. And so they said something, and they uncovered something very important. It's unbelievable, but it happened. I've got a lot of unbelievable stuff today. Just an FYI to everybody. How many of you out there, when you do Christmas cards or birthday cards or whatever, put your address on the back of the envelope, your return address on the back of the envelope? For some reason, for business letters, I always put it on the front upper left-hand corner. corner, but for cards, I always put it on the back with a little note, love you, whatever. Sometimes a little seal. So I sent Jennifer a Valentine's Day card, and I sent it about 7 days ago. And yesterday it shows up back in my mail to me. And what was canceled out was my address on the back of the card. The stamp wasn't touched. The front wasn't touched. I wasn't sure. So I went to the post office. First, I asked my girlfriend, Liza, who is a postal worker in New York. And she said, if you put your address on the back of the machine, if it's upside down, the machine is going to read that address, and that's the address it's going to send it to. But your carrier should realize what's going on and stop it from happening. She always pulls it when she sees something like that happening, and then she blacks out the whole name and she sends it. And unfortunately here, we don't have like postal carriers. We have subcontractors who drive around in their own cars and deliver our mail. So I went to the post office and she said the same thing. And what she did was she just erased the return address and she sent it back through. So lesson, don't put any addresses on the back of the envelope. You could put, if you want to put, words, you can, but not your address. Put your address always in the upper left-hand corner. The people in the post office were as shocked as I was to learn that. So, yeah. So Lucille does it on the back. Debbie, no more on the back. I use the stickers with my address, right? But don't put them in the back. Put them in the front. Yeah, left of the envelope. That's where it's got to go now. But I haven't gotten cards returned here. Good. But it happens here, and it may continue to happen, Lucille. So just if you don't want to go through that frustration, put it on the front upper left-hand corner. This is a PSA. I do not work for the post office. I don't give a shit about the post office. But at 72 cents a stamp, I want my mail to get where it's supposed to get. Always on the top left corner. Okay. Well, I was always taught that for business, but I was taught that for cards and stuff. You could put it on the back. Guess what? Don't do it. So anyway, all right. That was a PSA. Back to our regularly scheduled program. Okay. So here's something you may not have heard of. The New Orleans Police Department got a visit from ICE. They got a visit from ICE because one of their new hires, who's a cop with a gun, had a warrant to send him back to his country. He was illegal, and I'm going to let Annie Fitzpatrick, the chief of police for NOLA, tell you about it.
A new development that we know that you are not aware of yet, but we also know that it will become a newsworthy item, and therefore we're going to go ahead and share it with you. We don't have a lot that I can tell you. But as of this morning, ICE did indeed take into custody one of our police recruits who was we hired and was in the police academy at the time. We've had conversations with ICE regarding this. There was no struggle involved in any of it. The person was actually, the recruit was taken into custody without any incident whatsoever. So what you would want to know about this particular person is that on our end, when we were doing the hiring process, there was nothing that was in the packet that would have us have reason to believe that this person did not have legal status. There is some question that may have developed later, but there was a signed order by a judge for his removal back in December. We hired him way before that time. He had a valid driver's license, he had a social security number, and he completed and passed what we call the E-Verify system. So at this time, the situation is what it is, and he is in custody, and I have been told that he will not be given a bond hearing and that he will be in the process of a removal. The details regarding that, I would direct you to ICE.
WTF. WTF. What are we doing? What are we doing in this country? Oh my God. Yes. Oh my God. Absolutely. Oh my God. I can't even. I mean, he had a valid driver's license. He had a social security card. But he had an order by the judge to be removed from the country. And he'd been here for 10 years. So if the police department can't figure out whether you're legal or not, we got big problems. And if the police department can't figure out if you're illegal or not, how is the Board of Elections going to figure out if you're illegal? Just saying. Just saying. Is that so insane? I can't. Is that so insane? It's so insane. What kind of vetting do they do for the recruits? Did they use beats on Bourbon Street to hire him? They recruited people of other nationalities. He was from Cameroon, Africa. Yeah. So, I'm waiting for ICE to tell us, what happens here. But this is crazy. So, and in Los Angeles, I think they don't even care. If you're an illegal migrant, if you don't have citizenship, they're going to give people guns, and they're going to make them tell American citizens what to do at gunpoint. Okay, means when he first was investigated, before he got hired, investigation wasn't thorough by his investigator. Yeah, the thing is that he must have had a fake driver's license, right? He must have had a fake social security card. He was here for, they said, 10 years. So that was somewhere after Trump. So in Trump 45 administration, he must have come here before he got the borders closed, when Nancy and Schumer wouldn't give him the money for the wall. So interesting stuff, but yeah, interesting stuff. But here's the bravo moment for Annie Fitzpatrick, who is that chief of police. So the news media, well, I'm going to let you listen, because to me, this commentary, this clip I'm going to show you, is everything. And I wish all elected officials, especially Tim Walz and Jacob Fry, would listen to it. But hold on, Deb has a comment. They got to find out where he got those fake docs. Well, I'm going to, they must know, right? Because ICE got an order to deport from a judge. So they must know where he got the stuff. And I'm sure they're going to speak more on it, because it's going to become a big news story, because of the fact that he soon would have been on the street with a gun, stopping Americans, policing Americans. And now on the same day, that this happens, we have this biolab uncovered. I'm really getting pissed. You know what I did today? Today, I had a great day. I went to a defensive gun training class. I have my, concealed carry license. I have been trained in pistols and in rifles. So my husband and I decided, just for shits and giggles, that we were going to go to this defensive training class put on by the VFW, where his friend is the captain. And it was a great class, and it was actually sponsored by oh God, why can't I think of it? The United States carry something. They're like an insurance company, in case they provide you with lawyers in case you're ever in a shooting situation, and because every shooting, whether you're right or wrong, the the cops can't make that decision. If you shoot somebody, you're going to wind up, going to court, going to jail. Some DA may press charges one way or another. Even if they don't press charges, they're going to talk to you and investigate you, and you need to have a lawyer. And so this group provides lawyers. And it's great. It's great. They also provide training so that how to shoot and how to shoot safely and how to diffuse the situation and how to protect other people around you. And that's where I spent 2.5 hours of my day with the most sexy man in the world, my husband, who was like a bomb on that course. He was hitting the target constantly. He really did good. I did pretty good too, but he really did good, even keeled and all that. Why do I tell you this? Because something ain't right. Something ain't right. And we need to all be prepared that something's not right. And it doesn't have to be, live firearms. Some people don't like those, but whatever it is, I would suggest strongly, especially women, because there are crazy people out there right now. Take a defensive class. Whether it's, just jujitsu or karate, or, if you want to purchase a firearm, do that because I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Let's see. We have some more comments. Okay, we got that already. Wonder how many Muslims in New York City Police Department got in with fake IDs. The buildup of Muslims in the NYPD has been going on for quite some time. I would say the last 15 years, at least, maybe 20. Debbie, I saw tampering with food items, mail items, and tampering still can occur from unknown sources. No disrespect intended. I'm not sure why that would be a disrespectful comment. Criminals will get absolutely. But down in South Carolina, you have the right to defend yourself, and in Florida and in Georgia and a lot of right to carry states. I call them free states of America. They're still going to investigate, and a wrong word or a wrong whatever, and especially if you're in a city, think about it. The chances of you're having to shoot somebody in a city in a red state, which is a blue city, is pretty high, because most of the crime takes place in those blue cities, right? Or in the cities, and most city, I don't know any red city. None. I mean, that's what I was talking about with Trump sending ICE into the red states, and maybe the blue cities will turn red because big cities are generally blue. The chances of you becoming like the next Daniel Petty is pretty high on the list, especially if you're a white man. So, and even a white woman. I just think everybody should learn to protect themselves, because and if you're MAGA, for sure, you're going to jail. So protect yourself. And if you own a gun, make sure you take safety training, make sure you take defensive training, and make sure that you carry the right insurance. Make sure that you work with people who can defend you and tell you what to do in the case that you do get into a situation like that. Okay, that PSA is done now. The whole system is so corrupt. Oh, it really is. And our trainer kept saying that too. He said, he was military, and then he was from Buffalo, actually, military, and then he was PD in North Carolina. And why he got out was, he said, the justice system was down the tubes. It was so corrupt, and I agree with him. Finally here. Hi, Gloria. How are you? No red cities. No, I can't imagine what red city would there be? There's no red cities. And that's why, we've got to be careful. Okay. So this is what Chief Fitzpatrick had to say when she was asked how she felt about the fact that they missed this. Watch.
As police chief,
Yeah.
how does this make you feel?
Well, it's not an issue of feeling, in all honesty. Everybody in law enforcement have different missions. We have to abide by the laws of our country, the laws of our state, the ordinances of our city. And in the end, I'm not trying to be trite about it, but I literally took an oath of office, and my oath means something to me. And so if I swear on the Bible and God in front of everybody, that means something to me. And that oath means I will follow the laws. So in the end, my feelings really don't matter. It becomes an issue of duty.
I want that to be shared everywhere, because the elected officials who think that they're doing some great justice by having a sanctuary city or state, that woman stated it. There are laws of the land, not only in America, but wherever you are. But if you're in America, you have to uphold those laws. And you can't pick and choose. You can't cherry pick the Constitution. You just can't. And the left is the first ones to tell you can't, Trump is cherry picking the Constitution. No, he's not. He goes through the court process, and they're suing him for everything. So it's thank God for the tariffs, because it's costing us a bundle in lawsuits. But if the judges say no, he backs up until they say yes. It's just crazy, absolutely crazy. All right, so let's see. We got another comment here. Yeah, exactly. Beautiful statement. Finally, feelings are not the issue. Finally, right? I mean, I love that a woman said it. Finally, I love this. I'm going to play that all over the place. And we might remember Annie Fitzpatrick from last year's Super Bowl, right? Was it Super Bowl? Yeah, and Trump showed up, and the whole city was on high alert. And she did did she do a good job? I can't remember. There was an issue. There was an issue with something. Oh, the event. That's right. There was an issue with the event. And then they were going to do Super Bowl, and she changed the way they did things to make sure that there wasn't chaos. Yeah, she is smart. Okay, so the Minneapolis freak show is in full force. I mean, full force. Yeah, they've lost their mind. But I'm going to play this, and I want you to hear it, and then I want you to tell me if it reminds you of anything, okay? What is the this? The this is that protesters have decided to create checkpoints and intersections leading into neighborhoods so that ICE can't get through. And they're asking people for ID. In essence, they've created a border. Okay, the people who want no borders and want all the illegal migrants to be in our country have created a border so that nobody that's ICE can get through their border. Watch. I mean, it's a fucking freak show.
Tonight, Minneapolis police are stepping in after a community created their own method of public safety against ICE. Uba Ali joins us live in Minneapolis with more on that. Uba?
Well, Frank, they say this is all in the name of public safety, a grassroots response to immigration enforcement they say is hurting their communities. At this roundabout at 34th and 17th, flames burn as people stand guard.
We are literally creating a place that we know who's coming and going in and out of our neighborhoods.
In the middle of the road at 32nd and Cedar Avenue, a makeshift roadblock turned this intersection into a roundabout. Cars slowed as drivers noticed, some honked, others asked questions, and one man brought food for the people standing watch.
Hi, sir. Thank you so much.
How did it make you feel just seeing a community checkpoint in your neighborhood?
Well, it felt fine. I don't have any trouble with folks helping out.
Wade Haynes has been standing at this corner twice a day for one reason: to stand up against ICE activity and keep his community safe. He chose this corner. Others chose this intersection.
It's kind of inspiring. I was like, wow, okay. We've got folks out there who are kind of taking care of us, looking out for us. That's good.
But Minneapolis police stepped in, clearing the roadblock and restoring flow of traffic.
honestly, I'm kind of sad about it.
Still, residents say the roadblock was necessary.
We need to keep our neighbors safe, so we will be doing this again.
A city spokesperson said they cleared the street to ensure public safety for the neighborhood and emergency vehicles. Frank?
All right, Uba, thank you.
Do you notice they're all freaking white liberals? I can't even. I can't. These people need to go home and get out of the way of law enforcement. Stupid, hurting their own, illegal to stop cars. ICE needs a tank run through them. Oh God, Kevin, you are just off the charts, my friend, off the charts. Are you allowed to make a fire in the street there? Local police should be giving fines. Oh, well, the local police aren't going to give fines because Jacob Fry is too worried, and Tim Walls are too worried about putting tampons in boys' bathrooms than they are about the people of Minnesota. I mean, really, the local police, I don't know. They cry, the local police in Minnesota. They cry when they think about migrants. Did you see that, police chief? Oh, my God, it was an abomination. Arrest them. Who's going to arrest them? Don't they work? Oh, no, they're all retired. I would never have stopped. Get between Kevin and Deb. It'd be like bowling. Yeah, so that's, the irony, the hypocrisy that, they don't want a border, right? They want all these people to just be able to come in, but they want everybody stopped and they want them to show ID. Here's the interesting thing. What do you think? If you're a migrant and you come across that, are you going to know the difference that those are just regular people or that those are government workers? Are you going to feel secure? I don't think so. I mean, that's the whole thing, is that they don't even understand the lives of these migrants. If they come up on an intersection like that where they know that they have a checkpoint, they're going to freak out. They're going to, go the other way, especially if they don't speak English. They don't understand that. So that when people are living in the shadows, like illegal migrants do, that their lives they might be better than like in Venezuela or Cuba, and some parts of Mexico, but it's not good. It's not good. And so they're idiots. They're just idiots. Let the circus continue for all to see. Yeah, well, it's happening. Do they need a permit to light a fire or build a blockade in Minnesota there? They have no right to do that. They have no law enforcement. They weren't deputized by anybody. But the irony that they feel that they can ask for ID and stop people. Now, if they were ICE, what would they do? So if somebody comes up and says, get out of the effing way, I'm law enforcement, what do you think they're going to do next? I can't even. You know what they're doing now in Minnesota? ICE is like going around roundabouts and just riding all day, one truck riding all day, and all the people are following them so that they can go do actions. And a lot of MAGA are doing the same thing. They're putting their own license plate on the signal, the ICE, the Reddit and all that, and then people are following them so that they're distracting, so that ICE agents can actually do what they need to do. I think that's brilliant. I would do that in a minute if I was there. These people must have been trained at the Leering Center. Yeah, okay. They're breaking the law at every turn. So crazy. Yeah, but they're supposedly the ones that are protecting democracy, protect the Constitution, right? There is no law there anymore. No, there isn't. And I want to remind you of something. I want you to watch this piece from 2020 in Minneapolis. Watch.
Federal agents sent to restore order in Portland have poured petrol on disorder. What was a largely peaceful protest has escalated into violence. The main battle line is here, outside the federal courthouse. Protesters unable to pull down the new fence throw fireworks over. Tear gas is fired back. Many here are prepared for this. But as federal agents emerge in their dozens, those in gas masks run too. rubber bullets fired into the darkness is quite frightening.
This isn't the first time tear gas has been fired at protesters tonight, but it's the first time we've seen federal agents outside of the federal courthouse. And it's the first time that it's driven crowds away, but it doesn't look like they've gone. Certainly, it doesn't seem like either side is going to give up anytime soon.
Protests have been a nightly ritual since the killing of George Flyod in Minneapolis over 8 weeks ago. But crowds have only grown since federal troops arrived here, now protesting their very presence in this city.
Do you think this violence is undermining your cause?
You know what? I don't believe in violence at all, but unfortunately, you gotta make noise, right? I haven't seen anyone get hurt or killed here, right? I see some fireworks. I see some people making a lot of rackets.
It's not just residents who want them gone. The city's mayor, caught in the tear gas on Wednesday, has called them an occupying force. And Homeland Security increasingly resembles a military presence.
What's your name? Tell us your name.
A video shared last week by one of Oregon's senators shows a protester being taken by camouflaged troops in an unmarked vehicle. This week, Donald Trump pledged to send in federal troops to more Democrat-run cities.
Today, I'm announcing a surge of federal law enforcement into American communities plagued by violent crime.
The election fast approaching. Some say this is about winning votes. Meanwhile, protesters here prepare for another night of battle.
What's brought you out? Serving and protecting, since,
Protecting what?
my community here.
From what?
The feds.
Federal troops are far from fulfilling the president's pledge to restore order.
Remember that? Do you remember that? Do you see the similarities? I was wrong. I'm sorry. That was Portland, but it was over what happened in Minneapolis with George Flyod. But I want you to really think about that. It was coming up on the election. Once again, Donald Trump, deployed people into blue cities. I know that election was hinky, but we ultimately lost that election. I'm just saying, they're doing it again. It's just a different reason, right? The script is flipped. That was Black Lives Matter. Now it's criminal migrant lives matter. You get it? Yeah. So I just want everybody to be reminded, this is not by accident. None of this is by accident. This is orchestrated. And we have to be prepared for it. Have to be. This will never end. The left always look for a cause to create chaos, right? Because they believe that that's good for them, because they go Donald Trump into going too far. I think that he has to recognize that he's the president. He ain't the daddy. There are local police departments that can handle stuff. He should be where people want him, where, our federal agents should be in areas where they're going to be cooperated with, like NOLA, right? Those are the right places to be. And then maybe, just maybe, you'll flip those cities red and fuck the blue states. Who cares? Who cares? Let them drown. Because as more and more people leave the blue states, they lose congressional seats. And that's it. Always around elections. Bingo, Susan. Bingo. You know what would clear them out is spray them with cold water and freeze them. My husband says the same thing, Kevin. Yeah, maybe, but I don't know. I mean, they can just as easily have thermal, clearly, look, when you looked at the caravans coming to America in 2018 and then in 2020, 2021, 2, 3, 4, these were people coming through the Darien Gap in clean clothes, hot showers, and new cell phones. It was organized chaos. We've got a midterm election coming. We've got We have special elections coming, right? So it's better if there's chaos. They said that they wanted to get rid of ICE and all that other crap, which makes no sense because ICE is funded through 2028. So what the hell's the problem? So now we have to negotiate the ICE bill and yada, yada. And all the Democrats are going to stand on their principles in time for the March 10th election in Georgia. And I know that Marjorie Taylor Greene's seat is in a secure red district, but I still don't like it. We're way, way over. Okay. They are provoking to create dangerous consequences to blame Trump. 100%. Too many generals. Yeah. And then they sue over hypothermia. And that good point. Okay, we're way over, but I think it was worth it. We had a lot of PSAs today. Update on my brother. He's still in the hospital. Please keep praying, but the doctors are tackling and giving him great care. So hopefully he'll be, he's in great mental spirits. So we just got to get him out. We got to break him out of the hospital eventually. He likes the hospital. The last time he was in for 12 days, and he's a healthy guy usually. Who now is creating the violence now? It's the left. It's always the left. Even thermal clothes, they can get soaked in constant spray. Yeah, I get you. I get what you're saying, but also then what happens to the streets? People have to drive through the streets. And then the people start to blame you for doing it. I say just get the hell out. Why do we need to be there? Let them live with the criminals they want to protect. Let them live with it. Let them take them into their house. Let them, bring them to Easter dinner. Let them keep them. The red states will be where all the civilized and intelligent people live. And they'll vote that way too. And then we could flip the blue cities in the red states. Okay, that's enough of that. Love you all. Thank you. Share the show. Educate people. We had a lot of PSAs on this one. Okay, thank you, Susan, about your prayers. Good night, Debbie. Good night, Kevin. Good night, Andrew. Good night, Angela. Good night, everybody. I love you all. Amazing. I will see you tomorrow at 8. Let's talk news.